Welcome to the Seven Figure Network podcast, folks. My name is Melford Bibbins, and today I'm joined by Simon Chan. I am so happy to have Simon on because he was one of the originators of the network marketing podcast genre. This guy has been doing podcasts forever. Over 700 episodes at this point, which means not only has he learned a ton, and I guarantee he's going to teach us stuff that we've never learned before, but most importantly, he's really brought a lot of folks to the head of this industry. He has been so good at taking folks who are, on the cusp of explosive success, bringing them on the show, and next thing you know, they've exploded. You've seen the name. So Simon, thanks so much for being on today, bud. I really appreciate having you here.
Hey, thank you for having me on. It's an honor. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Simon. So, hey, do me a favor, and I got to ask this question because I know you've been in the game for a long time. What actually got you into network marketing in the first place?
I had a job. This is almost 20 years ago in 2003. I actually had a job that I liked, but very low paying. Mm-hmm. And I thought, I was raised by very stereotypical Asian parents where go school. And my dad was basically rags to riches. I was privileged, grew up in an upper middle class family. He was very poor, studied, became a doctor, and made a ton of money. But he had no time. So when I was a kid, I always wanted, to go to Yankee games and Knick games, grow up New York. But my dad was always so busy. So anyway, fast forward, later on, I was a young adult, and I read, someone told me to read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. And that book totally opened my mind. I was like, oh my goodness. So you don't need to, because at that time I thought I was going to work 30, 40 years and I'm very low paying job, slowly move up, get a $5,000 raise. If I'm doing really well, $20,000 raise. And after like 30, 40 years, I can make $150,000, $200,000, maybe be a VP, get a corner office. And I read that book and said, well, you don't need to do that. You can start a business and don't work and still get paid. Because money wasn't a problem for money, because my dad had money, right? But my dad didn't have the time. So you said you can make a lot of money and still don't work. So that actually gave me start exploring different options. I looked into franchising and different things, and at the same time, I read the book Purpose Driven Life. Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior is a big part of my life, and I felt that God's purpose for me was to have a positive impact as many lives as possible. And even though I'm a shy, quiet Asian kid from Brooklyn, New York. English is my third language. I had low self-esteem. I didn't like to speak up at that time. But I always enjoyed helping. That even when I was younger, even I would never speak up in class, but I enjoyed coaching youth basketball in college. I was a youth counselor for my church. And I felt that this thing called network marketing, and by the way, I didn't even know what network marketing was. Some people say it's negative. I was like, I thought network marketing was marketing computer networks.
Oh, that's funny.
I was like, well, what's so negative about marketing IT equipment? And I had no idea, but I researched and I even read the book Network Marketing for Dummies. That's how dumb I was. I was like, I had no clue. But it said if you work in the business consistently every day for 5 years, you can make a full-time income. And I said, I don't want a full-time income. I want a six-figure passive income. Yeah. So I decided. That's how I decided. No one actually recruited me. I found a company, Googled it, and this is back in 2003. The company name in Los Angeles, some random website came up, and I clicked on it and I called a person, left a voicemail and say, I want to sign up. How do I get started? And that's what happened.
Dude, you are like the biggest anomaly on the planet. I mean, how many people Googled their first company and just left a message? Hey, do me a favor. And I want to sign up. I need what pack should I buy? That's like, you are literally like the dream person in this industry.
Hey. Well, you know what? He called me back, right? I think that's a lesson there. It's about different prospects. Different people are different, right? I'm a type of person that I'm analytical as well. I'm driven by analytical. And if you try to sell me, I'm not going to be no. But I had done my research. I said, okay, I want to do network marketing. And when I want to do something, there's no one stopping me. Mm-hmm. Right? So if you prospected me, and prospecting was about timing. For me, if you talked about before I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, it doesn't matter what you have said, I would never have joined. Because I would think it's a scam. I think my job was better. I get more prestige on my job. I had a very nice corporate. I worked for a very famous company. So I wouldn't have joined. But it was timing. And once I got it, I decided. And the funny thing is, you said the packs. The guy called me back. We talked for 45 minutes. And he went through the packages and said, are you ready to get started? And guess what I said?
No.
I got to think about it.
Exactly.
And you know what? I didn't need to think about it, right? I knew because I reached out to him. Right. But I think everyone, when you prospects, and the next day he calls me. He's like, Simon, you ready to get started? Did you think I stood up? Did you think I spent all night thinking about it? I didn't think about it, right? And I think that's the thing. When people say they don't want to, you got to think about it. No one is really thinking about it.
Right.
It's just they have some uncertainty, they have some fear. For me, I just needed to. I just didn't feel comfortable. First time I talked to him, and he called me the next day. He asked, "Are you ready to think about it?" And did you think about it? I said, "You ready?" Actually, he didn't even say, "I got to think about it." That's to his credit. Because if he asked me if he thought about it, I would say, "No, I need a little bit more time."
Right.
He just went for the close. He said, "Are you ready to get started?" And I said, "Yeah." And he's like, "Well, what package?" And I knew the packages. It was 1400, 700, and 300. And I'm the type of person, I want the best, right? If I have an iPhone, I want the most memory.
Right.
So, 1 terabyte, I want 1 terabyte. If it's 2 terabytes, I get 2 terabytes. It doesn't matter how much it costs.
Right.
The package would have been 2,000. All right. This is my credit card anyway. I don't have to. I thought, all right, here's the Amex, $1,400. I want to get started. So that's my story.
Yeah, it's so funny because my first real self-development book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, it's the minute you said that, man, I'm like, I wonder how many people that was their first book. Like, imagine how many people Kiyosaki has just like launched in the world because Rich Dad Poor Dad was the first real book they read. So you got to tell me what resonated in that book for you? What really in Rich Dad Poor Dad changed your life?
Well, my whole concept, my whole paradigm was either you want to make money, and it's funny, like as an Asian, right? A lot of stereotypical Asians are either doctors, lawyers, engineers, right? And I don't want to be a doctor, so I want to work in corporate America. And the way you work a lot and climb the corporate ladder. But every one of my mentors, the people I looked up to, they were vice presidents, their corner office, they work long hours.
Yep.
Right? And my dad, who was a doctor, he worked long hours.
Yeah.
Right? He didn't have much time. So I'm like, that's the way life is. And then when someone showed me like a shortcut, like, oh, so this is what rich people do. They don't need to work, and you still get paid. So you mean like I'm busting my butt at the office, and this person makes more money doing nothing than me at the office? Wow. That got me excited. You know what? It's like you get to dream again. I think that's the thing I love about this profession, that not only does it change us, but we get to dream. Like, when I was a kid, I wanted to play baseball for the New York Yankees. And then when I was about 12 or 13, I realized, hey, I'm not good enough. Right. And then that kind of dream died. And I never had a dream. I was just, all right, I'm going to go to school, go through the motions, get a job, be like everyone else, study hard and get a job. And that was it. And then when I read that book, I said, hey, you can live a life you never thought. I thought rich people were, you got a business. And I didn't know anything about business or be an investor. I didn't have money for investing or be an athlete or royalty entertainer. All of a sudden, wow, you can live a life you want, have the time, and don't worry about the money. I was like, that got me excited. It's not even, I joined network marketing not just for the money, but with excitement. Like, I feel like I can be a kid. I have a dream again. Right. I think that's why, if you're listening to this, network marketing allows us to dream again.
Yeah.
The dream that we probably, for me, I didn't dream for years, over 15 years, 10, 15, I don't even know how long. Right? Ever since I gave up that baseball dream, there was no dream. I got to dream again. That's exciting.
Yeah, dude, think about how many, it's again, man, I hate to harp on this, beat this dead horse, but like, think about how many people were quashed during their childhood, had a dream, had it taken from, whether it was from genetics, natural ability, whatever it is, they lost that dream and they just disconnected from the dream for the rest of their lives. Like, think about that. Think about the people who didn't read that book. Think about the people who didn't get to have themselves hit the reset button as hard as you hit. Like, it just breaks my heart when I think about that sort of stuff. So, hey, I got to ask you, you said that, being an analytical person, you did a lot of searching around to find your company. You weren't actually, enrolled by anybody. You just went out and found yourself. Let's talk about other analytical people out there, because the reason I want to mention this point is, it's the Great Resignation. A lot of folks are transitioning from jobs right now. They might have never even thought of network marketing before because they've had quote unquote normal jobs before. What does the analytical person have to look for to find that right match for them in network marketing?
To be, thinking back, to be honest.
Yeah.
I had no clue. I had no clue what I was looking for. So I got lucky, right? So, I mean, the main thing for me was I was very skeptical of the industry. So I wanted a company that's been around for a while. Now, I'm not saying that is definitely the recipe for success. I want to join a company that's been around for over 10 years. Yeah. All right. Now, there's a lot of great companies that haven't been around for 10 years and doing really, really well. But I think that was my thinking back then, that I didn't realize it was now looking back to give advice on someone now, right? Number one, I think the thing was, getting back to that 20 years ago, it had to be something I believed in. Right? So I'm a workout fanatic. I used to buy shakes and stuff at GNC and stuff like that. So I figured, hey, instead of buying supplements and shakes at GNC, I'll buy from my own store. All right, that's easy. Like if you told me to do something else I wasn't doing, it would have been hard to sell, right? But I was a workout fanatic. So it had to be something I was using. But I think for the listeners here, not only do you have to look at the company, but more important than the company is the person you're joining, the team you're joining, right? I got lucky. And I think, if you're dumb enough and you get lucky, you work hard enough, you get lucky, right? And I definitely was clueless, but I worked hard. And I was part of a team that was moving. Like we started doing online marketing as early as 2003.
Wow.
Because you know what? That's how the guy found me. He did online marketing because I put that company name and he wasn't a top leader. He wasn't even a top leader. He was just making $300, $500 a month, right? Not a top leader. And he got me to coach and realize online marketing is the future. So the leader and the team, and then second part of my story was I was so excited. I struggled for months. I didn't make any money. It wasn't until a mentor came along to say, you know what, and help me stay consistent that my whole course changed. I was making $0 for months, nothing. And then once you start making, I realized consistency was my problem. I turned things around. He pushed me really hard. That's when things happened. But you know what? Like I got lucky, right? I didn't know that. The team, if I didn't have that mentor, I wouldn't be where I am. Now I probably would still be, because I'm not the person that will quit. I'll still make it, but I would take me a lot longer and probably definitely wouldn't be where I am today.
Yeah. I've got about 20 million questions I want to ask you, but this segue is just too perfect to pass up on. You just talked about consistency. The consistency pill just coming out. Please tell us about your new book. I cannot wait to hear about it from the author. I want to hear about it.
Well, thank you. Well, people say I'm the most consistent person in the world. And, I wasn't born, and people have a perception that you're disciplined. You're born disciplined. You're consistent. I wasn't born consistent. I wasn't born disciplined. In college, the only thing I was consistent with was playing John Madden football and video games to 4 a.m. in the morning and cutting class. That was the only thing I was consistent with. And actually, it was so sad. I remember my freshman year, I could barely get to like a 2 p.m. class. Okay, because I was staying up all night. I was wasting, tuition money. And the only reason I got up for that class was I was on meal. It's so embarrassing. On meal plan, this was, I remember the dining hall closed at like 2 p.m. So I would go there at 1:50 because I was paid for to grab whatever food and stuff in my backpack and then go eat in class and get to the class. I was always late at 2:05 p.m. That's the only reason I even showed up. Okay, but all my classes from 9, 10, 11, I was never there. That was the type of student. And when I got started in network marketing, it was the same thing. I'll do the business a little bit and stopped and a little bit and stopped. It doesn't work. You got to do this every single day. And so, I've interviewed over 700 different leaders on my show. It's been 7 years now, MLM Nation podcast. And every leader has different strategies. Some do LinkedIn, some do, TikTok, some do Instagram, some do belly to belly, some do this. But there's one thing they all agreed on is consistency is the number one skill. Because without consistency, you're never going to be successful. No strategy will work. Right? Anything you listen on this podcast, if you're not consistently applying it, it's not going to work. Your stuff that your team, your upline teaches you, you're not consistent. It's not going to work. You never gain the momentum. So I started thinking this is really the thing that's missing in the profession. Got great trainings, better trainings now than back in 2003, but people are still stuck because of the lack of consistency. And the reality is you're doing this business part-time. It's not easy because you have distractions, you have kids, you have life distractions, job stuff. But everyone can be consistent. So I look back at what made me consistent, what did my mentors teach me, and also from the people I interview on the show. And there's basically 7 things they do. Right? If you apply these 7 components of the consistency system, anyone can be successful. So that's the vision behind it. I took the book just came out June 6th. Basically, it's the consistency pill, the 7-step system to increase sales and transform the business.
That's fantastic, man. And I tell you, I love the fact that you mentioned that so many people build in different ways, but consistency is always going to be the cornerstone. I mean, we've just met, so you don't know us too well, but you know that Conchetta and I built through all B2B. We didn't go on social. We didn't, recruit our friends and family. We did everything B2B in the medical market, but we had to stay consistent. That was the key to everything. So, hey, do me a favor.
And you know what? I'm sorry to cut you off. I think the mistake that people make is because people as entrepreneurs, we love to set goals.
Yeah.
We set goals, right? Unlimited goals. But the reason why people fail to reach your goals, fail to reach a rank, is there's no consistency system behind that goal. right? One of the components are missing. So even like you and Conchetta, you build a successful business. Like the first component is a checklist. Every day when you do belly to belly, there's a checklist of things you have to do, right? Another component is create and schedule the time. Most people, they set a goal, but I ask them, where are you going to get the time? Because God is not giving you one extra second.
Yeah.
Where are you going to do that time? You had a time. Right. Number three, what's the strategy? You want to hit this rank? What's the strategy? You had very clear strategy on how you can grow your business.
Yes.
Right. The environment. So anyone who's lacking consistency, if you apply these 7 components, you can be consistent. But without them, you're just going to be spinning your wheels. You may have some short-term success, but you're never going to get momentum for long-term success.
Before we move on, how are they going to find the book?
They can go to the easiest way, consistencypill.com. I got some, depending on what time you're listening to this, I got some amazing bonuses, free gifts. We have a companion workshop. We got an audiobook. I can't give away the gifts, but the book is on Amazon. You can get it there, but go to consistencypill.com and there's free bonuses and gifts that come along with the book.
Beautiful. Thanks for that. Appreciate all the freebies. It's really cool. Hey, so you've been in the game for long enough that you've seen a couple of economic downturns. We're on the verge of, people are using the recession word, talking about inflation going crazy, but you were in the game back in 2006 when everything fell apart back then. So I know you don't have a crystal ball, but you've got a lot of time and you've spoken to a lot of people. How are you comparing the 2006 economic crash we went through to what you think is going to be coming on here now?
Well, I'm like a crypto investor. So it's like listening to what's the economy, what the government printing money.
Yeah.
Got war in Ukraine. It's pretty, you can say worrisome time or exciting times.
Yeah.
I share with you, the greatest opportunities come during crisis. All right, so if you're listening to this, this is the best time. In what I've seen in my 19 years, the best time for network marketing is during recession and bad economy. And the reason why, this very simple principle is people are more motivated by the fear of loss than the desire of gain.
Amen.
So I'll give you a quick example, right? 2 quick examples here. I'll give you actually a couple examples. So one example is you may hear people saying, you need to get healthier. You need to lose 20 pounds to get healthier. Even some people overweight, you need to lose 50 pounds to get healthier. And they know that's true, but they're not that motivated.
Yeah.
But if the doctor says, hey, you don't lose 50 pounds, you can have a heart attack in the next 3 to 6 months. Oh, boom, instantly lose weight.
Yep.
Right? You see people like smoking. I need to get healthy. I need to stop smoking. They don't. They struggle and it's difficult. But when the doctor say you're going to have a heart attack if you don't quit smoking, instantly. Because it's the fear of the health, fear of the loss of life. The fear is a great motivator. Another indicator is like, you say, hey, you work harder, you make an extra $5,000. And they're like, okay, you work overtime, get extra $5,000. But it's the summer now. I want to relax. But if you say to them, if you didn't work a little extra, 1 extra hour a day, you're going to lose your job in 90 days. You can be laid off. Oh, they start working. They add up the hours, right? Yeah. It's a fear of loss. And right now, like during when the economy is good, and you tell people like, hey, work on network marketing will allow you to earn extra 1,000 to 2,000 or even full-time income, 100,000. They're like, oh, yeah. They want it. But when they get home, it's more motivating to watch the TV and relax. But when they're worried about, I may not have my job. I may, the things that increasing, I may not be able to make my mortgage payment. I may not be able to pay my rent. I may not be, the fear gets people going. And you see it back in, 06 started it. 08, 09 was really the time. And actually during even during that time, those little mini, tiny bad economy times or crisis, that's when my business grew the most. Yeah. And a lot of the time, by the way, in MLM Nation, so you brought up the podcast, I would say the majority of people who are a certain age, probably like over 30, I forgot what year, it was 2022 now, right? I would say the majority of people who are 40 and above, who are 6 and 7 figure earners, they all joined network marketing during the last financial crisis.
Yep.
They were very successful business owners, lost their business because of recession. There were people who were successful investors, lost their money in the real estate crash. And then they had no money. When you have no money, what else are you going to do? You're not going to get a job because you just lost even like $100,000 or $1 million. You're never going to pay that money. You declare bankruptcy. You're never going to have a decent life, right? You're not going to have a job. Job's not going to make it. But start another business. But you have no credit anymore. You're not going to start. You're not going to have. What type of business can you start? You have no money. Easiest way is network marketing. It's the only way. So I tell you, the majority of people who are over 40 and above on MLM Nation, they all got started in the last financial crisis. So you got to think about, there are people right now, I don't want to wish bad word on people who are looking for opportunity. They're either business are struggling or going to struggle or decide to sell off the business already and looking for something else. And network marketing is like the steal of the century. Low risk. All you have to do is put in the time and you can achieve the life you want.
Yeah. It's really nice when you can say it's the best time ever, because that's a vibe I'm getting from a lot of folks. Hey, let's take consistency to the next level, and let's talk about consistency as it applies to retention, because consistency in getting them is great, but what is consistency? What does consistency apply to when you want to keep folks on board? And I'm talking about both customers and builders. So as far as a consistency model goes for retention, what would you want to teach folks about for that?
Well, you got to create a culture. I think a mistake that most people make, including myself, is not understanding that most people are not going to make much money in network marketing. And that doesn't mean they fail. It's because they have other distractions. And it doesn't mean that they're bad, because there's only four reasons why people stay. And if you violate these four, they're going to quit. Right, so you got to consistently build this in the culture. Number one reason why they stay, they make money, right? If you make money, you're not going to quit. You're going to stay on an auto ship. But the second reason is they like the product. So continue knowledge of the product, talking about the benefits of the product, continue servicing your customers. And nowadays, you got to service your customers. That means your downlines, by the way. People say, how many customers do you have? I have like 5 customers. No, every downline is a customer. Right, so you got to see your inactive downlines who don't build, they're your customers. You got to service them, because if you don't service them, we live in an age where it's Amazon, right? Everything's Amazon. If your product, whatever product or service you're selling, no matter how good it is, let's take it from an objective point of view, I'll find something similar on Amazon. Mm-hmm. Now, they may not be as good. Yep. Maybe 99% not as good, but 1% not as good, right? Maybe 9, but it's way cheaper. Yeah. And right now, especially during economy, bad recession, I'm going to go buy the cheaper one. Now, the only way to keep them, if you just talk about the product, it becomes a commodity, right? And commodity, what's a commodity? Commodity is like buying eggs, right? You go to the supermarket, you're not going to go, oh, I like this brand of eggs better. No, normally you buy the cheapest one, right? Mm-hmm. Eggs are an example of commodity. Mm-hmm. Gas, petrol, right? Gasoline is a commodity. So if you don't provide extra service, your product service is a commodity. I'm going to buy from the cheapest person. I'll buy from Target. I'll buy from Amazon. I'm not going to buy from you. So you got to consistently service them, meaning like you can give them extra tips, education, even motivation. That people, like if I take a weight loss shake I buy it on Costco, if I slack one day, whatever, no one's going to help me, right? But if you have a service and you sell a shake, hey, give them some recipes, healthy tips, maybe good tasting recipes that are healthy, right? Some sweet chocolate stuff that's healthy for you. Give them extras that your competition is not other network marketing companies, your competition is Amazon, Target, Costco, whoever those online retailers are. Give them something that they can't get anywhere else. And you got to consistently do that. Yeah. Right. That's number 2. They they make money or like the product. But number 3 is very important, is the relationships. The relationships. It's like if you're your best friends, and your best friend's not active, they're probably not going to quit the business, right? Because they like you. Mm-hmm. Right? It's the relationships. And we all know someone, maybe you're listening to, you go to a church, you don't necessarily like this message that much, but all your friends go there, you go there, or you don't like the gym, but your friends go to the gym, you go there, right? Yeah. It's the relationship. So you have to consistently do events, right? Now the pandemic's over, offline events, online events, and have fun. It's the relationships, the bonding time. Yeah. The last one that keeps people in the business, you got to consistently do, is create fulfillment. Right? I mean, every one of us, you've been fulfilled. You've achieved amazing things. It's the fulfillment that allows us to stay, right? And so I remember when I first started, I didn't get this. My first leader, he made when he hit a rank where he got $1,000 in 1 week. Mm-hmm. He told me and he worked really, really hard. He said that was the most fulfilling thing he did since he made his high school baseball team. Wow. Now, he was also the first person in his whole family to ever graduate from college, and to get a job over $70,000. But he said making that $1,000 a week was more fulfilling than going to college, because going to college was something he was supposed to do. His parents pushed him. This was something he did on his own. And that's what I got it. It's not about, I think back for me, there's a lot of times I didn't do network marketing. I did things that actually, when I was building the financially, not the smartest, but it gave me fulfillment.
Yeah.
Right? I was like, oh man, I was a shot quiet. As you can now get to speak on stage. I love that. The fulfillment, right? You got to give fulfillment, and that comes from recognition. Yeah. A lot of times people give the wrong recognition. They would try to wake up and down. Come on, let's get going. Let's go, 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 go. You know what? Your downline doesn't need that reminders, because deep down, if they're not building and they know they should be building, they feel bad already. They need you to make them feel good, not to feel worse.
And where are you keeping these kind of groups? Are you doing like Facebook groups? Is there some sort of technology that you're really, and I'm talking about today, like if somebody's going to build one of these groups today, where would you recommend that they do that?
Well, you have a team group. Like a Facebook group is the easiest to do, but it could be like a WhatsApp group, right? When someone do something, recognize them. And I think another big thing is people recognize, and the company does this, so you don't just need to spend as much time doing this. People normally recognize results. Right? Oh, great. Melford got a customer, got 5 customers. Great. Awesome. Right? But think about the person that invited 2 people to a meeting and both didn't show up or both didn't sign up. Right. What's the chance that person is going to bring in another prospect to the next meeting?
Oh, tough.
Right? So Melford, who just got 5 customers, he doesn't need that recognition as much. It's good to recognize because you're feeling good already. It's the person who worked hard, did not get the results, but had activity. You have to reward activity, not results. I now talk about that in the consistency pill. If you want to stay consistent, reward yourself for activity. Yeah. Right? So you can use little, you can gamify. Like, for example, even in the gym. Oh, I went to the gym. I went there for 3 days in a row. I didn't lose any weight. But you went to the gym for 3 days in a row. Treat yourself. Reward yourself. Because as long as you keep doing that activity, you're eventually going to get the result. But if you don't reward activity, it's very easy for your downlines to get discouraged, because all they see is they say, oh, these leaders are winning this, they win this, they're driving vacations, they're driving nice cars, and I'm still stuck. I can't get anything. So those are the people who are working, not getting results. You need to make them feel good.
Yeah, that's great, man. I love it. Hey, so and I don't want you to reel too much about the book, because I know that everybody wants to read it, but if you were to start again today, if you had no lists, no following, no nothing, same situation. I don't know which company I'm going to build. I'm starting to do my digging around. How would you restart today? If today was day one, you just got your kit, what would be the first few steps you would take?
I love that question. That's like the $1 million question in our podcast, right? Like, you have no friends, nothing, border knowledge. Yeah, it's very simple. Number one is I go online and I start giving value. I find out the things that I'm good at and know about already, right? So, and by the way, you don't need to be a business expert. If you're listening, you're a parent, you're a mom, or you're an athlete. Go find somewhere you can give value. Or you're good at construction or fixing, home decor, whatever. Go to those groups in Facebook or on Instagram, hashtags, and give value. So what I would do, the stuff I know, online. I'll teach business motivation. I do a live video every single day, just like I do. I've been doing for the last 3 years. A live video. I'll be going to youth baseball groups, because I have a lot of experience coaching youth sports. Giving value, sharing tips. Give. Go to different groups and connect with people. And I wouldn't sell them. I wouldn't recruit them. Just continue to find ways to help. Give. Right? Different ways to give value. You share content. You can be a customer, buy something from someone. Like if there's a plumber, I'll hire them. All of a sudden, he feels in debt to me because I'm his customer. Right? He'll listen to me. I'll give him a referral. Or I'll connect them with someone. Or make them feel good. Share something positive. Make them, if I have a friend in need or someone that is kind of down, I encourage them. Share some quote and motivate them. So online, I'll do that. Or make them laugh, do some silly TikTok dance. Well, make people laugh. And then offline, I'll join 2 gyms. I'll meet people there. Also be active in my church. Also join, I coach youth baseball, go volunteer my time there. And then I'll tell you, Melford, in 6 months, I'll build a big, I wouldn't recruit anyone for 6 months, but I'll just give. And when the next 6 months comes, I'll be able to build a 6-figure income.
Wild. That is so great, man. I love that advice because it's just so practical and you can actually do it. Excuse me. I want to know, I know you're a big goal guy. I know you're a big athletic guy. So how do you think that your love of athletics, your love of being in sports, how do you think that drove you in this industry? Because being an athlete myself, I know that, I don't give up. I beat my head against the wall until I win. It is what it is. What do you think that your athletic background has done to bring you the level of success you've seen in this industry?
Well, I think for love of sports, we all have certain people we look up to, right? And it's whether it's the Michael Jordan, the LeBron James, or the Kobe Bryant, or the Tom Brady, right? Like we look up to them, and then you basically study what they do, and you apply it to our business, right? So, for example, I remember there was like Tony Gwynn in the Padres. That when I found this out, right, he supposedly like during business back in the 80s where they didn't have cameras, have VHS tapes. Right. He would make the Padres staff. So if he knew like they were playing a certain team, he would get the Padres staff to get every broadcast of the opposing pitchers put on a VHS tape, and he was in a hotel room. He'd be watching those pitchers, so that when he plays, he knows exactly what he was facing. Right? It's the preparation. Right? One of my first mentors, I'll give him a shout, Tom Schoenwald. He's not even network marketing, but he told me the 5 Ps. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. Right? So Tony Gwynn would do that. Kobe Bryant would do that. Right? And there's another story where it was Roger Federer. Roger Federer, the greatest, one of the greatest tennis players. People say he's the greatest ever. Like back when he was a junior, like a teenager, he'd go to these top junior tournaments. And during the breaks, they'll give them you get a massage, relax. And this is like the top junior tournament in entire Europe. And other players will be talking about girls, while they're partying, where they're going to go out after the tournament, what they plan to do. And he'll be totally antisocial, lying on the bed with his headphones on or the TV and studying his next opponents how to beat them. Now, those are the stories that inspire me. Like, you want to be great, you gotta do the work. Right, and so how I applied it, I used to remember I'm a terrible speaker. I used to speak fast. My company had these CDs back then. Some of you don't even know what CDs are. I used to take MP3s and burn them onto CDs. And I listened to this one speaker. He was so good. I would actually play back. Just like Roger Federer would keep studying his opponents. I would rewind that single training. He only spoke for 10 minutes, but I would rewind it over and over again to copy how he spoke. Because when he spoke, I'll be, wow, that fired me up. It's like, how did he enunciate his words? How did he say this? I would listen to I'll record training, live phone calls. I was like, wait, my mentor said, I talk too fast. I'm talking, no, I'm fine. I listen to my recordings. I was like, oh my God, I suck. I'm terrible. My mentor was right. I didn't even know what I'm saying. And then I make improvements. And that's exactly like the Tony Gwynn, studying your performance, right? You want to study success, what is it, entertainer and sports? For me, it's just sports. Every top person does that type of stuff. It's the stuff that you don't see. But those are small little things that make you turn good, from bad to good to great.
The stuff you don't see. So well said. I really appreciate that. Hey, I've been dying to ask you this question, even though I think I know a little bit of the answer, but what is your 6-month goal?
That is a great question. My 6 months goal right now is to get the book to bestseller, to make a huge impact, and have people let me know, reach out to me and say, hey, Simon, this book has totally changed my life. And now I've been consistent because I'm applying the 7 components of the consistency system. I've been more consistent in my business and be able to get more stuff done in less time, and not only be more successful, but have more time for my family.
Oh, brilliant. And what more could you ask for? Hey, do me a favor.
I'll give you a fun thing. I'll give you a fun thing.
Please.
Fun goal for me. Like I've been focused on the book launch. It just came out. But I have an athlete. I don't want to mention his name on air, but I have a favorite athlete. And talk about networking, going about networking. I told my kids this. I totally look up to him. He's an inspiration. My goal is to meet him for at least 10 minutes and network my way to meet him. That's like a fun thing, networking, like the 6 degrees of separation.
Yeah.
Right? Like he doesn't know who the heck I am, but I'm going to find a way to reach out to him, whether through his trainer, and I'm going to have a 10-minute meeting with him.
Oh, that's fantastic. But let's see if we can get the 6 degrees of separation down to 2.
Yeah.
Get it nice and small. Hey, do me a favor. As you well know, being the master podcaster, some folks are going to be in their car. Some are going to be on their phones. So they won't be able to look at the show notes. What's the best way for folks to personally contact you?
Just go to Facebook, Instagram, Simon Chan. You see me there.
Okay, beautiful. Hey, Simon, thanks so much for being on today, bud. I really appreciate it. The book is Consistency Pill. Just released, so please go out and get it. I cannot wait to read it myself. I know Simon has been doing this for a very, very long time, and he's talked to hundreds of people who are masters in this industry. So between the trainers he knows and everybody else, I can't wait to see it myself. But Simon, thanks so much for being on today, but I really appreciate being here.
Hey, it's an honor. Thank you for having me here, and I encourage everyone, hey, we're in the profession to help others, so go out there and have a positive impact on someone's life today. God bless you all.
Thank you, Simon. Have a great day.